Wagwan, my loves, is Knowledge Butterfly. As always, sending you guys out peace, blessings, love, and abundance. Guys, I am totally on my Mercury shit. I say that because my knowledge, my thirst for knowledge in this Gemini season has been like so on point. It's been so, like, let me just say it, I've been very curious. How about that? Like a child, like wanting to soak up information, new information, get a deeper understanding of things because I definitely realize that I'm starting to see my current cycle and understand the way that I tick. I say that because I have moments where I just want to soak up knowledge, like right now. I just want to read as much information as possible. And my subject of reading could be astrology. It could be also true history. I was looking for a good word, ancient history. And when I say ancient, ANC, like if you change the C to a K and add an H on the end, you get Unk. And so I say that talking about the ancient melanated civilizations and learning about the true history, the things that they left out. Because if you truly are opening your mind and being open to everything, you do ask the questions, why are there so many gaps in the American history we were taught in school? Why do you say Christopher Columbus discovered America when he never even landed on this soil? He landed in the West Indies, or what people call the Caribbean, which is still a part of the Americas, yes, because it is still a part of our ancient family. Like it's still a part of that, those light beings. And I'm speaking on it more on the spiritual side, but the physical ties into that because the physical is a manifestation of what's happening in the background, the black screen, the type of energy that we're all giving off, which is causing so many issues in the humans that are on this plane, because we literally are so fucking far from our true essence and being. That's why there's so much conflict, because when you are so invested into being a human, you have totally started to believe that you are the role that you are playing. And so the reason why all of this is so important, why I say that, I'm learning my different cycles. It's important to study and learn yourself. You learn this information. Like I said, I like learning about astrology. I like learning about, the ancient history. I like learning about cardology, cartomancy, which deals with the tarot deck cards and also deals with your regular playing deck of cards. And because that is ancient knowledge and ancient information that is now coming back to us in the age of Aquarius. And what's happening when a cycle has to come back, what's been revealed to me is that the Bible says that, basically that things come back around, that the whole alpha and omega, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end type of information shit. That's literally what's going on right now. People call it a paradigm shift. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm telling you, the energy of the planetary bodies is so powerful right now, because there are so many things that are happening in the stars. And so if you are truly like tapped in on that frequency, you are soaking up so much information that you're trying to decipher and decode, or you're just, right now we're getting an upgrade, okay, to our computer. So whatever level you're at, you're getting an upgrade to the next level if you have been definitely focused on working on yourself. If you are not conscious and living a conscious life, meaning that you are conscious of what you truly are and that you are a light being that is playing a role of a human right now. And according to whatever energy you incarnated in, because that energy encompasses the last thing it encompasses is the personality that we build when we're on this plane, meaning the role that we feel like we fit into, and that all has to do a lot with our karmic energy. If you have any karmic debt to pay off, you probably had a hard road, or feel like you had a hard road in your life. So it's learning the reasons why you think the way you think, the way you feel the way you feel, getting to the source of that, and then transmuting that energy into the higher form of that energy instead of the lower form, which is vibrating on a human level. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what the universe has been revealing to me. But what we're seeing right now is us being in our very lowest state. And when I say us, I mean everybody who is in the quote unquote human race. Now, most people say hue because hue means color. And so the people that used to be called colored, okay, would be the ones that you would say would be the original human race, okay? And because those people who are in the melanated bodysuits got down to our lowest state, all of this shit, and this is not to play the blame game in my Kanye, this is just keeping it real and telling you guys real truth as to why the melanated beings on this plane, this has come from a higher self, on this plane, why we are playing out, a lot of us are playing out these really lower vibrational roles, like the role of the victim. And that's all stemming from we've been living in fear and trauma. Every generation has been traumatized in some shape, form, or fashion. They constantly show on TV black bodies being murdered. And not just on TV. Now you can pull up your cell phone or your laptop and it'll play over and over again. And every time you watch those videos, you are traumatizing yourself. That's why they want us to get so involved and have the Black Lives Matter shit and stuff like that. And it's not to knock anybody who's doing that, because you're doing your human duties. If you are contributing in that, you are attempting to be a better human and also have an understanding of the people who are killing the bodies that look like you, okay? And that's totally understandable on a human level. But however, when you start to vibrate more on your God level and you're getting these upgrades from source, okay, you are able to see it, like step back out of this human shit, step out of the blackness and that role to see the spiritual side to it, like what is emanating that. Because anything on the outside is coming from the inside. So inside, if you want to call it the black community, if you want to call it whatever, I just call it like the indigenous collective conscious, okay? So the collective conscious for the people that look like you and me is that there is so much trauma and so much fear-based fear-based trauma that we don't even realize that we are emanating our very worst nightmare on this plane, just to keep it real. Because we're so caught up in the whole thing about this little black body being killed, young black body being killed in front of me, that is to trigger past trauma. And because that cell has the information of your cells have the information of all the trauma that we've experienced, and that plays out on our emotional body aura field, which is your all that is your electromagnetic field, which stems from your heart, because your heart is the center. So any trauma that is encoded in your DNA that you have not transmuted, you have not let go of it, you have not let go and let God make that better for you, is going to continue to play out on your stage. Just because you may not be on TV and be a quote-unquote celebrity or famous does not mean that you are not still playing a role, and that everybody around you is your reflection. They're a reflection either of your love or or of your fears. So if you are not living on a love frequency, which is the God frequency, then you are living on the frequency of your fears, which is the devil, which is the ego, which is only caught up with what you can see. But when you have an understanding that what is playing out right now is our fears, and it's like the last bit of it, because you have so many people that are waking up that are starting to vibrate on that love frequency. It's causing for us to be able to continue to upgrade our computers, you know what I'm saying? And which is your conscious mind. I mean, your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is literally the computer that is making all of this shit happen. And it's taking data from your conscious mind. So that's if your conscious mind is what's leading you. If it's what's leading you, your conscious mind is just feeding it all this negative stuff. But if you're starting to become more aware of how your conscious mind ticks, you're able to use your conscious mind as a tool it was meant to be used as, in order to reprogram your subconscious mind to more of a wealth consciousness of thinking. And when I say wealth, I don't just mean monetary, I mean spiritual wealth as well. Tapping back into your spiritual wealth, because your spiritual wealth will feed your physical wealth. Okay? And when you understand that true wealth comes from your knowledge, it comes from you being your true self and loving your true self, and then loving the process that you're going through and being grateful and appreciative. That is wealth right in itself. And that puts you in the cycle of getting back something you want to come back to you. You know what I'm saying? Versus the things that you don't, the things you fear coming back to you constantly and constantly in different reflections of yourself. That's why people keep dating the same person, but they look different on the outside, because you are still dealing with on the inside some issues that you have not let go of, you have not transmuted, you have not been honest with yourself and said, hey, this is what is causing this to happen. You know what I'm saying? You want to continue to live more in a victimization role. And that is what they set up for you. But it doesn't mean that's something you have to continue on. The whole villain victim thing is literally just playing out, you know, duality constantly. They want you to stay in duality, because duality is separation from your true self, which is the one, becoming the fucking one. You know what I'm saying? That coming that middle point in if you think of the glyph of the sun, that is a circle with a dot in the middle. It's a circle with a black dot in the middle. Okay, and they have all this white around, and if you think about that, you think about light. So the white part of that circle is supposed to be the light, right? And then the middle part is the darkness. You're supposed to be standing in the middle part, because you're supposed to be the light bearer. You're supposed to be the one that's shining your light 360 degrees. While you standing in the middle, you shining your light around. Most people is literally the complete opposite. You are caught up in you fear the darkness. You fear being the darkness. You fear putting your darkness and light together. But you have to go through the darkness in order to even get to your light source. You know what I'm saying? The thing that's making your reality, the thing that will make your reality what you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? So I really just wanted to share that, like that whole thing, because I'm going to read, I'm reading a book. It's called America, BC, Ancient Settlers in the New World. And this recommendation came from Dr. Alim El Bay. Shout out him and much respect to him, because he does drop so much knowledge and information. And because right now my vibration is on learning about the ancients, which is learning about the ancestors. So think of ancient and ancestors and Ankh, all of that, you know, ancestral, all of that meaning the same type of people. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that people that look like me and other, you know, brown skinned people in this country were already here in this country. And that knowledge is why there are gaps in American history. That's why it don't make sense and it's all choppy. You know what I'm saying? And then you can't, if you keep going deeper down the rabbit's hole you'll continue to pick up on certain things that has been quote unquote hidden, but it was hidden because it was in your subconscious mind. It was below your conscious mind, and you have to start working your way down the rabbit hole. So anywho's, I'm going to read an excerpt from this book. In March 1493, the Catholic Church was presented with an unforeseen problem. Christopher Columbus had just landed in Lisbon after an 8-month voyage that was to have taken him to the Indies, but instead of so doing, had led him to discover a new world. Discover, right? Discover. The difficulty now confronting the prelates was that he had returned with passengers, Amerindians. I'm going to read that again. The difficulty now confronting the prelates was that he had returned with passengers, Amerindians, who had all the appearance of being human beings. But how could their existence be accounted for? The biblical account of creation described 3 continents, each occupied by the seed of the 3 sons of Noah who survived the flood: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Columbus seems already to have been aware of the impending theological problem, for in a letter dated February the 15th, 1493, written at the Canary Islands, he assures King Ferdinand that the people he found were no monsters, but on the contrary, very well formed. Neither were they Negroes. And when he put ashore in Lisbon on March the 6th, his journal records, many people came to see the Indians, and it was a great marvel. Now, first and foremost, they never ever said that Christopher Columbus took anybody off this land and took them back to where he came from. Nobody has ever said that. They said that Christopher Columbus brought people from Africa and brought them over to this country to enslave them. That has been the ongoing story, right? So now you're saying that the exact opposite occurred, that people came from this land, were taken from this land over to what they called the old world. So let me continue reading. As the second and third and later voyages produced ever-mounting evidence of large numbers of man-like creatures inhabiting the Americas, a cold wind of skepticism began to blow through the monasteries to ruffle the equanimity of those who so boldly preached the absolute truth of Genesis. For a time, Rome disregarded the matter as Pope Alexander VI, Rodrigo Borgia, was otherwise engaged, save only when he found time to draw a line of demarcation between the Spanish and the Portuguese portions of the New World. Wanted to mark their territory. But in 1512, a new pope, Giuliano della Rovere, Julius II, summoned the Fifth Lateran Council and issued an official declaration certifying that American Indians, not Native Americans, American Indians, American is first, are true descendants of Adam and Eve, and hence are human beings. The failure of the Bible to account for them, the failure of the Bible to account for them and their continent was made good by the inference that Amerindians are the descendants of Babylonians, expelled from the old world on account of the sins of their ancestors. I'm going to read that one more time. The failure of the Bible to account for them, for these Amerindians, and their continent, America, was made good by the inference that Amerindians are the descendants of Babylonians, expelled from the old world on account of the sins of their ancestors. Now, when you look up Babylonia or Babylon, it says the city of Babylon appears in both Hebrew and Christian scriptures. Christian scriptures portray Babylon as a wicked city. Hebrew scriptures tell the story of the Babylonian exile, portraying Nebuchadnezzar as a captor. Famous accounts of Babylon in the Bible include the story of the Tower of Babel. So right there, you have the people of Babylonia being portrayed as evil, wicked people, right? And when you think about when you think about the way that dark and black, those words are giving negative connotations. When you start to actually do the etymology of a word, you learn the true origin of it. So the etymology of wicked comes from an Old English Wicca, and I'm pretty sure it goes back further because all language stemmed from this current language stemmed from Latin. So Latin was supposedly the first language that they were able to interpret because most of our languages used to be symbolic. However, we did have languages that correlated more with the rational mind. Okay, and that's the type of language that is easier for someone who is not tapped into source as much to be able to understand. So wicked is origin per Google of Old English Wicca. Now, who do they call Wiccans now and stuff like that? The quote unquote white people. But the wicked is the root of, or the origin of the word Wicca is the origin of the word wicked. So that tells you right there that Wicca is not, or wicked is not evil, or is not quote unquote bad. Middle English, probably from Old English Wicca, witch plus ed, which is like, to me, ed, it goes back to like education, educated. But anywho's, so that's telling you that that Babylon was a city of witches, of who witches are supposedly are magical beings. And they look at the melanated beings as being magical. And when we are vibrating on our correct frequency, magic happens. Okay? So that whole passage right there tells you that there were people that were already here. And they said they appeared to be human beings. Okay? But, yeah, I just really wanted to share like where I've been and certain information that have been revealed to me. And the person that wrote the book that I'm reading, if you want to pull it up, you can pull it up in archive.org. This is one of the books you have to borrow, so everybody gets 14 days to read it. I just got it yesterday, so this one won't be available until I'm done with it, but there's another one you can get on the wait list for. You would literally have to get on the wait list. You could do the wait list for both of them, and whichever one comes in first, and that's the one you read. But I get a lot of books online through archive.org, and some of the books I am going to have to order that I want to read, but for right now, I'm reading what I have available to me so that I can continue to expand my knowledge while I'm in this particular cycle, because the next cycle could be me wanting to just, and I still have been trying out different recipes, vegan recipes, but the next cycle could be me just wanting to be more into a more meditative state. So like I spend 45 minutes to an hour a day in a meditative state and, you know, clearing my mind. And instead of maybe doing a 15-20 minute meditation session before I go to sleep, you know what I'm saying? So anywho's, that's really all I wanted to talk about, guys, was just how the melanated beings have been going through trauma, and we've been lied to for so long. It's hard for a lot of the melanated beings to actually be open to coming from greatness, because we've been told the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying? So now that we're in the age of Aquarius and we're back in that cycle, coming back to the divine feminine, where things that were in the dark in that divine feminine is now coming to the light, because that's why they wanted us to have a more masculine mind. And, you know, patriarchy definitely is something that the people in the white bodysuits have been more comfortable with. And that's the authority, that's that father, that's that giving you rules and regulations. And, you know, my mom used to always say, go ask your daddy if we wanted to go somewhere, because she knew that he was very strict and he was all about, I'm the authority, I'm the daddy, so what I say goes type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was easier for her to let him give us the bad news because she didn't want to be that person. You know what I'm saying? So now we're back to the divine feminine, all the information age, whatever you want to call it, which has a lot to do with the placement of Uranus right now. And Uranus, I think it might still be in Taurus. It was in Aries, and then it went to Taurus. And the Taurus, of course, is the earth. It's things coming and hitting the earth. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that the knowledge is being brought back to earth. Okay, but and the fact that it, like I said, that it's hidden to some is because you're not vibrating on that frequency, but the information is there. It's not anybody's hiding anything from us. The Masons have been writing books from what I've seen since the 1800s. They've been writing books on the things that they've been discovering and learning about these ancient black civilizations. And when I say black, I almost feel like, I am, like it's overkill, or, it's giving extra to people, because ancient does mean black civilizations. The word ancient is black civilizations. It's like code language. You start realizing the code language that they use to describe the people that came before Columbus, that came before, white civilization. So, it also makes me think about, how they try to demonize Babylon. And then when you realize what demon really means, that demon is genius, but they've used it in quote unquote negative ways to make you have a negative reaction to it. So a lot of melanated people, we literally have been cursing ourselves because we've been calling everything that literally means, who we truly are. We've been calling it the devil. We've been seeing it as the devil. We've been fearing that side of ourselves because we've been told that it's bad, but it's not bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we're supposed to fear. Babylon was a beautiful ancient black civilization. You know what I'm saying? And it failed like a lot of our civilizations failed, but that's because we fail. We fell down our chakras. You know what I'm saying? We fell all the way to our root chakra, so we were living in a total physical world. Now it's time for us to climb back up the ladder, Jacob's ladder, and get back to our true nature and our true selves. And one more thing, and I'm going to end the video. Yeah, I was going to talk about Babylon and how Rasta, because being in the Rasta culture, they did talk about it being negative. They say Babylon is wicked, and wicked is literally, if you think about white people, how they use wicked, they like to use it as something that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's wicked. But we have been told that wicked is bad. That's what we've been brainwashed to believe. So I just wanted to say that we need to stop cursing ourselves in every shape, form. We get some type of truth, but we don't continue to dive deep into it. We are still caught up in that monotheistic way of looking at things, which is, if you were indoctrinated in Christianity, you are still walking that Christian path, but you just call it a new name. Or if you are Muslim, you're still we're Muslim, you're still caught up in Islam, even though you call it something different. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Brother Panic will call people be like Hotepers or something like that, because you are literally pretending. You're still playing that role. When you get in your God consciousness, you don't worry about playing no fucking role no more. You want to truly just live in your authentic self and not the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, you're getting caught up in still being stuck in a cycle that you have to break in order to get to your true self. Because even when you think you found yourself, keep digging deeper until your true self comes out. For real, for real. Okay? Like all of you. Your authentic self. You know, that thing that knows that you are now in something. All right? And it was something else I was gonna say. The Avatar movie, a thing that was revealed to me. So you know how the people were called Na'vi, right? They were called the Na'vi people. My higher self revealed to me that, okay, if you take out the T and the E and you rearrange the V and the I, native becomes Na'vi, okay? And native means that you were born somewhere. You are natural to that place in that land. You have ancestral DNA. You have heritage. somewhere. You're connected to the land. So Navi meant that they were connected to the land. You know what I'm saying? They were born there. They're natural, right? So that's what the Navi people meant, native. Okay? Now, the other thing I thought about, or that came to mind, was the word naive. Okay? And naive, I just pulled up, actually is old, comes from Latin origin, and it means native and natural. So again, the Navi people are native and natural to the fucking land. Okay? So that's where the whole disrespect comes from, when you have people who you call Native Americans and they are not natural to the land. You know what I'm saying? And you have so many people who are melanated really starting to get that this land is land that we are from. This is our land. This is, where our ancestors, grew and built, and they left all of this information for us to find when we were vibrating and ready to do so. So we need to get back to vibrating on our heart chakra level, being more like the Navi people, being more naive. That comes from that, literally being more naive, being native, being natural, being Navi. Okay, but and that's another reason. That's actually another thing was revealed to me. That's why they keep pushing back the Avatar movie, because so many people are waking up. And if people continue to be, their subconscious mind continues to be spoken to, they're still given the information. They just don't know what it means yet, because they haven't tapped into their true nature. But more people are waking up, and they don't want to, help it. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to keep growing in your level. But I just wanted to do this quick video, guys. And I do still have to do the part 2, because I got cut off when I was talking about how to calculate your birth card number for the tarot decks. I'm gonna do a video about that to finish that off too, but right now I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, guys. You can always subscribe to me. You can follow me on my Instagram, my Facebook, as well as if you want to donate to me, you can send that through my PayPal or my Cash App. But I'm gonna end on that note. Peace, guys.